for the, it says the fourth time, but really it's like the sixth or the seventh. But we're going to try this again. This is Diva. Let's see here. Are we ready to do this? Yes, we are. Where are we? Right here. I'm here. Hola. Hello, hello, hello. Diva. All right. I just got back from a show. And I figured I'd try to put this session down once again after so many tries, but we're going to keep trying until we get it. But I want to get this one out of the way because I have some other sessions that I'm really excited about putting down. So I wanted to try to get this one out of the way this evening. And what this is about is contracts, writing contracts. I'm actually going to go through one of my sample contracts and show you how I format my contracts when we're sending them out. So yeah, that's what I want to do with you all, and hopefully you'll get something out of this session. You'll learn how to format your contracts, and also the biggest thing is learn to understand a contract when it's coming to you. Now, one of the things about contract law is that it stands very high. Now, I have put a link where you can go and download the hierarchies of law, and they're very important for the simple fact that when you understand what laws stand where, then you're really going to understand how much power you have when you write a contract. So when you see those laws, what you're going to see is, of course, you'll see universal laws, you'll see laws of nature, you'll see laws of maxim, and under that is a sovereign, and then under that is a contract law. Now, understand, when you write a contract, your contract stands above all governments, all corporations. And so your contracts are very, very powerful. Now, I talk about contracts, and I'll also talk about letters, because what a lot of people don't understand is that letters are contracts. All right, when you write a letter and a document and you're asking for something or what have you, it is a contract and it is legally binding. So a contract is also a constitution. It's a set of laws. It's a declaration. You can also put in a contract your own dictionary. Like, you can redefine words within your contract. That's how powerful they are. It's a trust. It is a court. So understand, when you're sending someone a document or a letter, that is really your court. People think about public court when they think about court, but really anytime you write a document and it is in the private, that is a court. All right, and we're going to go over that too, so we can understand with some of these documents what's really going on. A contract also, as I've said, it stands above all of these constitutions, all of these corporations, whether it's the United States Corporation, the Corporation of Italy, the Corporation of Germany, and all their corporations. Your contract stands above that. When you know how to make it stand, and you know how to declare things, you have a lot of power. So we're going to talk about that today, and understanding what these contracts are when they come to you. All right, so now what I would like to get into is, this session, the document that we're going to go over is, the sample is about traffic tickets, how I write a document for traffic tickets. But let me say this, really, you shouldn't be contracting with these people, because when we're talking about police, they're private citizens with a costume and a weapon. Now, you don't have to contract with them, and we're going to go over that. However, I'm just showing you this contract with the ticket, how I write my tickets, so that you can take it and you can use it, apply it to different situations. All right. So now I want to just run through this contract really quickly, because I want to show you how all of these contracts have very similar parts. And then, because I need you to be able to understand what a contract is when it comes at you. So here is the template that I'm giving, and you can go and download it from the link that I put in the heading. All right, so basically right here you'll see where it's got the heading, and it's got the date and the names of the people involved. It's got the ticket number, which is this is how you're going to reference the case. And then this right here would be a your opening paragraph. I just put, this notice is to inform the respondent, which is, the person here, blah, blah, blah. All right, that would be your introduction. All right, the next thing would be a statement of facts, which is basically a list. So here you'll see my list, and it's got, on such and such date, the person was pulled over by the police officer, blah, blah, blah. That's the next segment that you'll see in these contracts, a statement of facts. And then the next one would be notice of violated rights. This is basically have not performed with respect to the contract, or how you have harmed someone. And this is where in the statement of the notice of violation of rights, you're basically going to be putting here what your fines are and what, or whatever you're asking of the person, whatever rights that they have violated of you. Now, the next section is opportunity to cure. This opportunity to cure is going to how you can resolve this issue. That's what this deals with, how to resolve the issue. And then after that, you're going to have failure to cure. These are the consequences that someone's going to go through when they fail to honor the contract that you're sending to them. All right. And back up here with this opportunity to cure, you're giving them the number of days that they have. You're telling them what exactly is that you want. And then, like I said, you're basically saying, you don't honor this contract, this is what you're going to have to pay, or this is what we're going to do. All right. So these are the consequences. So those are the main parts of a contract. Now, what I want to do is go through and let's take a look at a traffic ticket, which a lot of people are familiar with, and let's see how similar they are to a contract that you're going to write. So here we go. We have a traffic ticket. Let's zoom in a little bit. Basically, you can just see, I'm going to go over it, but what I want you to see is this, because I've shaded it. I'm going to show you with the shade. All right, throwing shade on this thing. All right, so take a look at this. These are the different sections, and I'm going to zoom in and let's go over them. Let's go through them so we can take a look at how this ticket is. First of all, it is a contract. That's all it is. All right, so now, and again, when you know who you are, you'll understand you don't have to contract with these people in that way. Now, first of all, what you're going to have, you're normally going to have a corporation name. They'll have their logo or the name of their company, because again, these stations or whatever, they're just companies. And then it'll say traffic ticket as a heading. It'll have the number, your name, whatever your car is, the type of car, whatever, VIN number. Then in the blue shade, what you'll have, the first part here in the red shade, this is going to be your introduction. All right, is what is called a statement of fact, saying, okay, at 2:30 a.m. on, April 1st is the date, and then where it is. It's giving you a street name, some other information. These are statements of facts of what, happened. The next section is your, what is the violation? This is that orange section here. The violation is they were eating in the zone. You're doing 82 and a 50. All right, so this is the violation section. The next section is going to be your opportunity to cure. And I'm going to read this because this is this little lavender section here. You must answer this ticket within 15 days of the date of the offense to answer by mail, see the other side, and postmark your answer within 15 days. So this here is your opportunity to cure this situation. Now, let me say this because with the 15 days, they are being kind. Normally, they don't tell you to answer within 15 days. Normally, they're going to tell you to show up in court in 30 to 45 days. And the issue with that is with these tickets, really, you're supposed to be answering them within 10 days with your own contract. That's all this is a contract. So you're supposed to be answering within 10 days. And then if you don't answer, you have agreed to the terms of this contract. It's not a ticket. They're telling you it's a ticket. It's a contract. And you don't have to bind yourself to it. Let's scroll down here and look at this. This is the signature section. And you'll notice here it says refuse. Well, really, this is what you should be putting on there. You refuse to contract. Now, if you feel nervous and you get intimidated or whatever, when you sign a ticket, you're going to sign that ticket with, and you're going to just put your name there. And then what you want to make sure you also write is under threat and coercion or under duress, anything to make it clear that you are being forced or feeling forced or in danger to sign this contract. That makes the contract null and void. Right there, as soon as you say that, because any contract signed under threat, duress, or coercion is an invalid contract. So now, but you have to know how to stand on that. Now the next thing is failure to serve will result in this section here in the green. This green shade is the section where it's saying consequences for not answering this contract. Failure to answer will result in the suspension of your license and a default judgment against you. Now, this is what I need to say about traffic tickets and what's going on with them real quick before we move in, because I do want to get to the section where we're actually writing the contract. Well, let me say this. When the cop pulls you and he gives you a ticket, what you have to understand, remember I said a ticket is a contract, and a contract is a court. So when you stand on the side of the road, that's the court right there. Now he's going to tell you, oh yeah, well, you can show up in court and argue this. If you don't answer to that contract after you've signed it, you have agreed to it. When you go into court, that's just some formality stuff. Your money is gone. I mean, you can go in there and try to argue, but really there is no argument. This is how we agree. Look up tacit assent. TACIT, ASSENT, or tacit agreement. Look that up and understand what that is. When you don't respond to a contract, which a ticket is a contract, one is agreed to all the terms of that contract. So you want to be careful when you get a ticket or any of these other contracts. You want to answer them. So let's take a look at another. Don't realize that it's a contract. This is a letter from a landlord. This letter and see understand how it is a contract. Once again. All right, so we'll do this. All right, so let's take a look at this. I'm zooming. Basically, this is a contract. I'm ready to shade it. Let's put some shade on this thing. Now, there's some shade. So we can see what the different sections of this are. Once again, you have your introduction here. That's in the red. And you would have your, so I'm scrolling down here. You're going to have your, the name of the person. Up here, you'll have the logo of the company or what have you. And dear blah, blah, blah. Our records show your rental payment is late. Either you have not paid the total amount due, or you may have forgotten to pay it for this month. This is an introduction. I'm writing you to tell you what this letter is about. This next section is a statement of facts. Please be advised that rental payments are due on or before the first of each month and must be received in our office by the 5th of the month to avoid the late penalties. This is a statement of facts because it's in the original contract that was signed, the original lease contract. So that's number 2. That's that second segment, statement of facts, that's in the blue. The next segment is as of this date, the total amount due, which includes late charges, is. This is the violation section here in the yellow. Violation. So the violation is you were late, and then this is how much you're going to have to pay for being late. Next thing is the opportunity to cure. This is your opportunity to resolve this issue. This letter is sent to you as a courtesy to urge you to make this payment immediately. This is the only notice you will receive regarding this matter. So let's understand this. This actual contract is a notice of fault. Now, in my other sessions, I've talked about how there are 3 processes that you go through to get to the public court. The first one is your initial contract. The second one is a notice of fault. And then by the third one, you're going straight into court. So what happens is this right here where it says, this is the only notice you will receive regarding this matter. This is a notice of fault. And this is why when you don't answer this, you're going straight into court. So this is why we need to, like I said, learn to recognize contracts first, and second, learn how to respond to them so that we can restructure. I did a session not too long ago, last week actually, about restructuring contracts. So when you understand this is a contract, then let's restructure it. Because you can write them and say, no, I don't owe this much. I only owe 100. You can say that. And you can you keep a battle going and force their hand on certain things. So, but that's one of the things you can do when you learn how to answer these contracts and restructure them. This last segment here in the green is the last segment I have shaded rather, is the your consequences for not responding to this document, this contract. After the 15th of every month, all delinquent accounts are turned over to our attorney for legal action and possible eviction. All right, so once again, I'm backing out because I want to show you with the shade how all the documents, introduction, statement of facts, violation, opportunity to cure, failure to cure, consequences, they all have the same elements in them. And when you learn, listen, we're going to learn how to play the game the way they've been playing the game against you. We're going to turn it and flip it to our advantage. So once we learn how to do this, we're going to gain a whole lot more power. So let's get into this. And by the way, if anyone has any questions, please go ahead and leave those in the inbox. So, or in the box below rather, so that I can make sure I get to them and answer any questions that you might have. Rooster, hey, how you doing? Let's see who else is on here. But yeah, thank you all for joining me this evening. I've been trying to get this thing out for a while. Mr. Jones or Miss Jones, I can't see it. But yeah, hello, thank you all for joining me. Let's see here. All right, so the next thing, let's get into writing the document. So I'm going back to the sample contract, and we're going to take a look at, and I'm going to go through a little bit of detail. So you might want to take notes on some of this because these are things that people don't tell you. And I set up, you can write just like these people, just like the landlord wrote that simple letter. And you know, the contract for the police, that was simple. For me, I throw everything in there because by the time I get finished, like I said, this is a court. I'm going to define everything and I'm going to make it clear of what happened and what I want. So that I, by the time I get ready to take this into court, it's so, you know, it's so well done. All that the judge needs to do is to say, okay, I award you what you're asking for. All right, so let's get into this contract. Now, at the top, you're going to see registered mail number. Let me explain why we do a registered mail number. We send everything registered mail, and you might want to take notes on this. because we like to keep our documents under federal jurisdiction. Anything you're sending through the mail under federal jurisdiction becomes is protected under federal law, and it's something it's a little, it holds a little bit more weight. It's more serious. So now when you do deal with a court, you can actually create a federal court, but that's on another level. But I'm just letting you know, this is why we send things off registered mail, and we get a registered mail number. And let me warn you, because when you go to the post office, a lot of times the try to say, well, you don't need to get a registered mail number, and send always stitch stamps, not their little meters, not those little sticky labels that they put on. You want a stamp. All right, that's important too. I would have to get into that on another session. All right, so now this is a private communication between the parties. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. This is just saying that if they send a notice to your agent, then you're gonna get it as the principal. You're the principal, and then we also have an agent. So let me talk real quick about an agent. We like to have witnesses, as many witnesses as we can when we're dealing with these documents, to show that we have been in honor with respect to the way we have been filing with these people. So we would get an agent as a third person, because when we tell these people to send us mail, they need to contact the agent and not us, because we want there to be another witness showing whether or not this person has responded in the time that they were supposed to respond. So if you say, no, they didn't respond, then it's your word to be an argument. But if you have an agent there and the agent is saying, no, you didn't send any mail to me, then that is another witness for you. So you got the post office as a witness up here with the registered mail, and then you've got an agent here as your witness, saying what needs to be done saying what needs to be said, rather, with respect to your contract. All right, so this is your title here, and once again, this is for tickets. So this is where we're saying to whoever wrote the ticket, notice to cancel contract. That's the title, and you have your date. Now, what I want to go through real quick, the principal, like I said, is you, but what I want to go through is this right here, where you're seeing Republic, and you're seeing without the US, and you're also seeing the name of the state it's spelled out. So let's understand what's going on here. When some of you all are aware that the United States is a corporation that is owned by Britain, and is really a fraudulent, fictitious, well, they're all fictitious, but it's a fraudulent corporation because they really just usurped authority from the United States of America. So United States Corporation only has jurisdiction over people in Washington, D.C. That's it. And is owned by Britain. However, everybody is under the belief that they voting for a president that's for the United States of America, when that corporation doesn't have anything to do with America at all. Our research will know this. However, the deal is to keep you under their jurisdiction. They have copyrighted certain phrases that includes IL, all the abbreviated states, that belongs to the United States Corporation. So when you're talking about IL or GA, that's Georgia, FL, the CA, all of those abbreviations are owned by the United States Corporation. And anytime you're using them, you're putting yourself under their jurisdiction. When you use a zip code, also you're putting yourself under their jurisdiction because they own those zip codes. So this is what happens when you go and you use their materials. You're copyright infringing. So either you're going to say you're a citizen, or you're going to pay a lot of money because you're infringing on their copyrighted material. That's how that works. So when you see here, notice this says, first of all, let's look at this. Chicago, Illinois. You want to, if anything is under your name as the principal, and you got upper and lowercase letters here, you're going to spell it out always. And then understand that Illinois, the republic, please understand this has nothing to do with no republic or democratic parties. Nothing, none of that. Republic is where your God-given rights are protected. And so you got to understand, I go through this in another one of my sessions about the difference between a republic form of government and a democratic form of government. When you understand what it is, you wants to be up under the republic, because the democratic form of government does not protect your God-given rights. So you can't, you want to be up under the republic, because as a sovereign and as a creditor, this is where your rights are held, under the republic. All right, and respected, and not only they're not just held, they're respected and they're protected. All right, so now right here, when you see there's no zip code. Not gonna put in the zip code, but it says without the US. Notice this says U.S. That is the British owned corporation. All right, that is not the United States of America. Anything with abbreviation U.S.A.U.S. United States, all capital letters, even the United States of America in all capital letters, that's owned by Britain. That's not the original United States of America, and it has no authority or jurisdiction over you. You just give them the authority because you keep signing contracts with them. And again, this is why we need to understand the contract when we're seeing it. All right, the next thing is the respondent's name here. And that's the person who you need to understand you're suing somebody with this contract. And understand, regardless of who you're suing, you must have the name of the CEO here. You want to put the name of the CEO or the CFO, because that is the person you're suing, not the company. The company is a dead, fictitious organization. All right, you can put all this can be in capital letters, but you want the CEO of that company, because you are suing the person. See, you got to understand, let me say it like this. A corporation is nothing more than a puppet. All right. If you trying to go after Pinocchio, you're not going to get no money. You need to go after the guy who's pulling Pinocchio's strings. And that is the CFO or the CEO. So you put that name there. And then the next thing is going to be the name of the corporation. The city, you abbreviate the state and put the zip code, because this is, under the respondent. As long as you don't do that under your name, you're fine, and your name should be in uppercase letters to represent that you're not a dead, fictitious organization, right? So if you don't have that information on the difference between, upper letter, all uppercase and lowercase, I have sessions on that. Please go check them out so that you can get more understanding on that. All right, the next thing is the ticket. You're gonna this is the reference number of what the case is about. If you have an account number, you put that there, whatever that helps you to reference it. Again, this is the section where you're gonna give some details on what you're talking about, and then here would be your first your introduction paragraph. This is the notice to tell the respondent that such and such that happened on Wednesday at Dollar Tree on Old National Highway, whatever. That's what you're doing. You're going to put all that information in there. All right, the next thing is the statement of facts. Now, this is where you're going to list what happened in chronological order. No emotions. All right, no emotions here. All you're going to need to do is list what happened, just the facts. Don't ask any questions. Don't be arguing, just the facts. All right. And so, for example, I'm just going to read one or two lines, but June the 3rd, 2018, principal pulled pulled to the side of the road at 4:30 p.m. by the police person, Tom Cop, hereinafter known as offender, at the corner of 10th Street and Delaware Avenue. All right, number 2, the principal informed the offender, and by the way, this right here, where I call him an offender. So whoever Tom Cop is from hereafter in this contract, his name is offender. I'm changing his name. I'm gonna call him what he is. He is offending me. All right. So the offender, the principal informed the offender that, and by the way, I'm sorry, let me say this too. Not only is that a declaration, but up here, let's go back up here. This is a declaration here. I've declared who the principal is. I've declared who the respondent is. That is the CFO or the CEO who's pulling the puppet strings, who we're suing. All right, so back down here to number 2. The principal, and by the way, there's a link where you can download this document. You're welcome to it. And again, change it. You got to anyway, but change it to whatever you need. This is just a template to help you understand how to format your contracts. And again, it could be a simple letter. But like I said, I format mine in such a way that this document here would be the first document. The second document I send a notice of fault, and we're going into court after that. So I don't, I'm not going to keep going back and forth with these people. I'm going to send you what I need, and it's going to include everything I need. And if you don't honor it, I'm taking it to court. All right, the offender that the offender had no authority or jurisdiction over the principal, and that the principal did not wish to contract with the offender. So now, let me say this, because it's going this a little bit off the contract writing, but when you're writing your contract, it's very helpful to know these laws. Now, one of the things about a police person, and they're not officers, because officers have to be elected. No, nobody elect an officer. They just get hired to do a private policing job for the state. So now, they are only citizens. They don't have the right to stop you and be asking for your ID and anything than any other person walking on the street. So you understand that, and you say to them, I do not wish to contract with you. You don't have jurisdiction over me. That should be the end of it. Because the only way that they can arrest you, please understand this and go look this up. These are federal laws. There's only 3 reasons why they can arrest you. 1 is if they saw you commit a crime. 2, if they have an arrest warrant. 3, if they have they got to have a full reason to think that you have committed a crime or about to commit a crime. It's not like they can just, well, I just figured like you was about to commit a crime. No, they really have to have a serious reason. Otherwise, they are violating the law and violating your rights. You got to know that when you're writing these contracts. So the principal was detained by the offender for 20 minutes as the offender wrote up a ticket, hereinafter known as contract. Now, understand this. When they detain you, time is money. Time is money, and you can sue them for that. Because once again, remember, they are nothing more than a private citizen. That's all they are. They're a private citizen with a uniform or a costume and a weapon. And I'm not saying to be mean to them or disrespectful to them, but you have to know who you are, and you have to be willing to stand up for your rights. And even if you're afraid and they give you a ticket or whatever happens, then understand this is your legal recourse, and you have to be willing to stand. If you can't stand, even you feel you fearing and you don't, okay, that's fine. But at least know that you have a legal recourse and they cannot detain you. That's illegal. Offender threatened to arrest the principal if the principal did not sign the contract which the offender was offering. All right, that's illegal too. So again, these people do all kind of legal stuff, and we let them get away with it. Principal signed the contract under fear of physical harm to the principal. See attachment A. So now what you're going to do is you're going to include, a copy of what you're talking about. So again, like I said, this is, you would keep going every incident that took place. You would list it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and keep going until you finish listing the facts. All right. The next thing is the notice of violated rights. Now, if you have any questions, please put them in the box below. And once I finish this, I'm going to check on that. Notice of violated rights. This is where you're saying, these are my rights that were violated, and you're telling them what your fine is. And normally what I do, and like with my clients, I have them to go ahead and file a fee schedule with the county and whomever else they want to file it with, but definitely with the county, where it's stating, if you violate my rights, this is how much it costs. It costs $1,000 for this. It costs $1,000 a minute for that. So that's normally what I would have my clients to do. But even if this is a court right here. This is a declaration. And with my clients, what we do is we make 3 copies of this. We're going to make 3 copies of this contract. All right. 1 copy is going to go to the person. And as a matter of fact, you can make 4 copies of this, but 1 copy goes to the person via registered mail. Another copy goes to you, and that's the copy that you don't open. You have a reference copy, and then you can file one with the county. If the case gets that serious, you would file one with the county as well. So this is just to document everything that you're doing. You want to put it on public record. You want to make sure they get theirs via registered mail, and they got to sign for it. And you want to make sure you send one to yourself through the mail, registered mail, without opening it. That they call that a poor man's copyright. But listen, that's what the United States does with your birth certificate. That's like, you know what they do? They send it through the mail, poor man's copyright, and then they give you a different number so that you can be up under their corporation, up under their dead fictitious corporation, when you could have done that yourself. But we'll go into that on another session. Anyway, all right, so on June 3rd, 2018, the offender violated several rights of the principal, including but not illegal use of copyrighted corporation in commerce. Now, let's understand what that means real quick while we're on it. We'll have my clients will go and make a declaration of the name. There's that all capital letter name that's on your driver's license. You haven't claimed it. Most of us haven't claimed it because we don't know to claim it. When you go and claim that, that becomes your copyrighted material. And anytime somebody writes your copyrighted material on any type of contract without your permission, that is copyright infringement. So remember I said with the United States Corporation, they have all of these, IL and, FA, CA, those abbreviated state names belong to the United States Corporation. And when you use them, you're either going to claim to be under their jurisdiction, or you're going to get sued for copyright infringement. Well, this is the same game. We're just going to flip the script. So right here, we're saying illegal use of copyrighted corporation. Your corporation is that all capital letter name on your driver's license that you have now claimed. So once you claim it, nobody has the right to use that on a contract. And remember, a ticket is a contract. So if he's going to try to write the name of your corporation on that ticket, he's in violation. And he can be sued for copyright infringement, him and his whole corporation. Each case of violation of the rights of the principal results in $1,000 United States dollars, fine payable. Now, I want y'all to understand something, so I remember to say this. Notice that this is in the third person. Now, this is how I write my contracts. Anywhere that I don't use the terms I or he or she. I'm going to always the name of the person. So when I'm talking about the principal, if this was my case, it will be, this is me. But I'm not going to say, well, the rights of my rights was violated. No, I'm going to say the principal's rights were violated. I just write in third person when I'm talking about the offender. That's a third person. And notice that's capital O. That principal's capital P, because that's been defined as that. And let me, while I'm on that, let's keep in mind that when we're talking about upper and lower case, that's a really big deal. And there's some contracts that we go back through and we take a look at them, and they've been, they'll switch the case. It's all uppercase in this at this time, and then it's upper and lower case over here, and we don't driver license, and it's in all capital letters. And then wherever else you're signing is upper and lower case. Those are two different entities, and we have to be aware of the fact that upper and lower case and all uppercase make a difference. Anything in all uppercase, and again, I know I'm covering a lot of stuff, and I hope you're all able to take notes or even take the time to watch this again. But anything in all uppercase letters represents a dead fictitious entity. The way we can keep that in mind, it's a corporation is what it is. And so you can keep that in mind, because first of all, when you say corporation, you're talking about corpse. That's something dead. Now, when you want to remember this whole situation, when something is in all uppercase letter, you think about a corpse or someone who is deceased. And notice how the tombstones have all capital letters on them. All right, that person's name is written in all capital letters. Well, that's how you can remember the difference between a corporation, a dead fictitious entity, or a real person. So that's one of the things to keep in mind. Let's see, the respondent is liable for all torts created by the offender. The respondent is liable for the above torts, which amounts to 41,000 United States dollars. And it I always put it in letters and numbers. Again, this is just how I format my contracts. You can do it any way you want to. I just like to be very thorough in mind and the way I present them. So, but it's up to you. You can write this in pencil, and you don't have any headings. And as long as it's clear and legible in the contract. Understand that. So I'm just letting you know this is how I format mine for me and my clients. And if it can help you, great. Just make sure you format it to what you need it to do for you. All right. So now we are on section 3, opportunity to cure. Let me see if I'm still online. Hold on for a second. One moment. Shit. I don't know if I'm still online or not. But I'll wait. Oh, I see stuff. All right. Well, let me keep going then. I don't know. All right. Wait a minute. Let me see. Am I breaking up, you guys? Let me know if I'm breaking up. Let's see. I'm just checking to see if I'm breaking up or if people are following or what. I don't know. All right. I got some thumbs up, so I'm going to keep going. Let's see here. All right, so here we go. Opportunity to cure. The principal requests that the respondent cancel the contract, which is an illegal creation of the offender. The respondent has 20 days. I'm telling you, you got 20 days to remove this. Hold on for a second. Let me find my. All right. So the respondent has 20 days to remove this, to send a written confirmation that, and then this will go on because I put a whole bunch of stuff in here about you want to remove this or blah blah blah. Anyway, down here, failure to cure does not respond to this presentment or fails to cure within 20 days of the receipt of this presentment, the respondent agrees to be personally liable for damages created by the offender, which accounts to. Now, notice up here, I didn't say, I said, look, I just want you to remove the document. That's all I want. You got 20 days. All right. Now I'm saying here, if you don't do what I asked you to do, not only are you gonna pay 41,000 United States dollars. All right. The respondent admits to the liability to the principal of the value of $41,000. The respondent admits that the respondent committed the following crimes, and I'm gonna list them out here: illegal detainment, threat, coercion, copyright infringement rather. The respondent waives any and all limited liability protections and immunity. This is taking that away. So if they don't respond to this contract, these are all the consequences of it: failure to cure, operation of law, the final admission of the facts set forth in the presentment by the respondent, sent to the presentment, and the whole matter shall be deemed and stare deceases. Make sure y'all look those up. That means it's done. It's a done deal. That's it. And the judge has no authority but to offer you a judgment in your favor. All right, so let me try to see. I hope I can get through this without the thing cutting me off. All right, so now the last part, and then we're done. And if y'all have any questions, like I said, put them in the box so I can try to get to them before I close out. Commercial affidavit and oath. This is where you are just affirming that what you said is true. You ain't crazy. I, John Doe, under my unlimited liability and commercial oath, proceeding in good faith, being sound mind and body, having firsthand knowledge, affirm, state, and declare that the facts contained herein are correct, true, complete, and not misleading under penalty of international commercial law. So help me God. This 20th day of the first month of the year of whatever, 2000, whatever. And you're going to put autograph, and you can put a thumbprint here. Now, the difference between an autograph and a signature. Signatures are supposed to be for dead, fictitious people. When we stand, we learn to stand as sovereigns and as creditors. We're putting an autograph here, and an autograph is like print with an attitude. You know, where you might, instead of writing a D with a nice little curve, you know, do a D and it's got a little, you know, it's all out here. You know, just print with an attitude. However you want to autograph, but normally that's what we do, we autograph. And also, let me say this one thing that I want you all to start paying attention to. All right, now you've heard me use the word sovereign and the term creditor. Now, sovereigns are going to sign on the right. Debtors sign on the left. Okay. So that's the difference. So make sure you understand when you're signing something, it always needs to be over here on the right. If you're signing as a debtor or a dead fictitious person, you sign it over here. All right. And you can see that when you're looking at your checks, when you're looking at any kind of statement you're sending in, normally they have you signing on the right because you're a creditor. You don't know that. They don't tell you that, but you are. All right, now let's look at this last part. This is jurat. Now, remember I said we like to have witnesses. Well, this is a court-appointed witness because you're going to get this a notary public. And so you're going to put the state of wherever you are, the county of, and the jurat is where the notary public is just saying, okay, this is the person who they say they were. I'm putting my seal here, just my signature, blah, blah, blah. You can read that. But yeah, this is, you want to get this done because then this becomes your third witness. All right. And so this is how I format my contracts. And let me go back up here to, where are we? Number 5. Notice, I said, see attachment A. Now, whenever something that you're presenting, you don't just attach it to the document. You want to make sure that you state within the document to see this document that is attached. So let's say there's an attachment B and you didn't mention attachment B within your contract, then attachment B doesn't even mean anything. It might as well be blank. You have to mention whatever you're attaching in your document to make it valid or a valid part of your document. All right, so that's all I have on that. I hope, let me see if I have any questions. I hope that helps somebody, and hope it was clear in what I was. I know it was a lot of information, but please take time to look it over. Bruce, what you say? So when I talk in third person, I'm really practicing for writing contracts. Yes. Yes, that's what you're doing. Hold on for 1 second. Let's see. Do I have any other questions? Let's see here. Because I'm about to close out. I hope this finally went through. I mean, this is like 6 try really trying to get this thing through. I hope it's gone through. Let's see here. What else we got? Sounds good over here. Thank you, Jay. Hello, Jay. Stem my Bay Stern. You cannot capture the corporation by or straw man. Remember, own nothing, control everything. You cannot capture the straw man. I don't know what you mean when you say you cannot capture the straw man. Let's understand this, because you know I go through this a lot with people where they're saying, "Well, we don't own the straw man." Let's understand how the straw man came into being. It turned into money. So then the state goes and sends that off to the United States Corporation. And then the United States Corporation borrows money on this bond. They borrow money on the bond. The only way the bond got money is from your mother's signature, because your mother is the only one who can create money. The United States Corporation can't create money, nor the state of whatever you were born in can create money, because they're dead fictitious corporations. So let's understand, first of all, that your mother is creating the account and the money. Then they turn around and they use your mother's creative property to create the name on the account. Your mother named you Janet Doe, for example, and they turn around and create an account in all capital letters, Janet Doe. All right. They're using your mother's property. And they're putting money into an account that came from your mother. Who else can own the account but you or your mother? Nobody else owns that account. The deal is, if you don't own that account, then why is it that you got to sign for everything? Why is it that, you know, when you're going to get a house, what they're doing is they're using your signature. When you're getting a loan, when you're getting a car and all of that, that's your signature that they have to get you to sign power of attorney. If it's not your account, then you shouldn't have to sign power of attorney. They should just be able to go in there and manipulate it. You're the only one who's putting a signature down to manipulate that account. Who else does it belong to but you? Yes, you can capture it. And when you go and claim it and declare it, it becomes your property. And when they use it on any kind of document, it's copyright infringement. The same game they've been playing against us is the same game we're going to turn around and flip the script and play against them. It is your account and you can capture it. The question is, do you want to capture it? If you don't, then that's fine. But don't say you can't. I know you can, because I capture mine. And I use it all the time. And I dare somebody to put it on any kind of contract. And that's I give them permission. All hell gonna break loose. So I'm gonna just say that like that. But you know, thank you for watching. The Brewster. So contracts should always be negotiated in third person. I prefer to negotiate my contracts like that because I want to keep, you know, this is just business. You know, we don't want to keep putting our personal, and you see how I'm, I get excited about anything. So, but I try to, want to pull back, and it's like, it's just business. So if I use it in third person, then it's not, and that's also, let me say this, it keeps your contract from being ambiguous, because you don't want to be saying, well, she said this and He did. He, who is he? You don't want people to be saying, who is he? Use the name. Well, the offender did this to the respondent, and the respondent didn't appreciate it. You understand? So it helps it to be keep from being ambiguous, and then it helps it to keep from being personal. Keep it business. Just keep it business. I just want, since you violated my rights, I just want you to pay me. That's it. It's just business. So, but you can do it however you want to. You can, if you want to write it not in third person, you're welcome to do it. I'm just showing you how I do mine. So that is, I just maintain a business set with it. See, everything coincides with everything, and she knows the name, this main. See, everything coincides with everything. Yeah, everything is everything. Let me see. More. Okay. You ain't got to pay attention to me. Okay, Stern. Rooster, what you say? What you say? Hold on. What did Rooster say? Cool. Now can I pay attention to the lady? Oh, y'all arguing in the damn post. Okay. Attention. Oh, attempting to secure interest of the estate. Statement of facts. When we write our contracts, one second. Get out the way.